Welcome everybody to BTOP Live. I'm here today with John Rubinow, who's our guest. We are making a third attempt at this since we had some technical difficulties a couple days ago, but I have him here live on Zoom, and I just want to remind you guys, you know, this is usually airs live in our group, but we're doing this on the BTOP page because of how we've had to structure this to get him live on here. But I would encourage you guys to check out the BTOP Legends group and join us in on these discussions. In my opinion, there's not another group like this on Facebook. The level of connection that we have and the types of discussions that we're having, I think it's a really valuable group. I encourage you to check it out, BTOP Legends. And don't forget to also just like our page since you're on there, since you're on here watching. So I want to make sure I get the comments. At any given point in time, feel free to ask, make a comment, give us a like, or to ask John or myself a question. I'd be happy to see if we can answer it for you. So, all right. So without further ado, introduce you guys to John Rubinow with Pro Ball Baseball Clinic. John, thanks for being here, man.
Hi guys. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So we finally connected, and as I mentioned last time on the videos, like I could, after talking with you the first time we met, I feel like I could talk to you forever about baseball.
I love baseball. So
I
do you.
know.
I could tell. Yeah, it's in our blood.
Yeah. So where are you? Tell everybody where you're located right now.
Right now, this is at my house. I live in La Quinta, California, which is about a half an hour east of Palm Springs. So it's a beautiful weather now, but come May through
Right.
September, it's going to get toasty. So I'm
Right.
enjoying
And
the nice weather while we have it.
we just got through with a winter vortex here in Oklahoma City, so it's
I grew up in Connecticut, so I can empathize with you.
let me ask you this. In Connecticut, did they go from sub-zero temperatures to 40 in like 2 days?
Not that drastic, no. But we should, being a kid in New England, growing up in New England, you don't know how bad the weather is because that's the card you're dealt as a kid. So you think that's your norm. But as I look
Right.
back, man, the weather sucks in New England. The summer is muggy and buggy. It's nice in the fall for playing baseball. You know, you can't. The snow melts in April, so it's too muddy. And then you get May and June and July and
Right.
August. It's okay, but it's not a. There are not too many major leaguers from New England. Let's just put it that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know the last day that it snowed here, or the last day that there was snow on the ground, it was about 40 degrees. That was the day it melted. And my kids, like, they took their coats off. They were burning up because we were having like negative 25-degree wind chill. It's crazy, man. That's unheard of in Oklahoma. So,
Yep,
but
yep, yeah. I was talking to a friend that lives in Dallas, and he's got leaks in his house, and it was crazy. I know it's just
yeah,
one of those weird things.
I know it's pretty crazy. Well, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time out to do this. As we begin, just tell everybody, or I'll just ask you questions. We'll just have a conversation here. Oh, what's your journey in baseball, by the way, especially with men's leagues or this desire to want to help men get better at it, amateur ball players?
This was back in 1992. I was living in LA, and I was working as a doc, and I saw in the back of an orthopedic surgery journal, it said Big League Baseball Sports Medicine Conference, Reno, Nevada. So I'm thinking, baseball, okay, that's cool. I haven't played baseball since 1979, I think, and this is 1992 now. And it was kind of like a fantasy camp for doctors. I had no idea what it was going to be like, but it was in Reno. I could write it off. There was gambling and it was baseball. It's like, sign me up. That's a
No kidding.
beautiful thing. So I ended up going, and it basically was a fantasy camp for doctors. And they had these ex-players. They had Tony Oliva and Johnny Roseborough and Orlando Cepeda, all these older guys. And I could still play a little bit. I think, how old was I then? 38, something like that. So I was still pretty young. And I could play, and most of the doctors were terrible. I mean, they just were terrible baseball players. So a couple of the guys that lived in Los Angeles asked me if I wanted to play on their team. And I said, what do you mean? What are you talking about? No, we play on a baseball team. I said, there's a baseball league for old men. I had never heard of MSBO. And I went, okay, I'll do it. And
What year
I
is this?
never forget, I was taking ground balls at this fantasy camp, and I come back off the field, and Orlando Cepeda walks up to me, and he puts his arms around me. And he's a big dude. And he goes, you can play. You used to play the game. I can tell you can still play. And I'm like, holy crap. Baby Bo's saying that to me. And it was
Yeah.
fun. And I ended up playing this in the summer league in LA. And our team was awful, just awful. But we ended up playing other teams, and some guys from a team that was pretty good said, hey, you want to play on our team next year? I said, sure. And I ended up playing on that. So that was 94, 93. And I ended up playing with those guys for, gosh, 10 years or more, and had a blast. Just had a blast. And I also played some NABA. So I played a lot of baseball. And just, it was so much fun just to put on the uniform, and put on the spikes and go out there. You lose, automatically lose like 30 years off of your real life just by going out on the baseball field.
Well, that's one thing that I'm hearing a lot of people talk about is the youth that it brings. It's like a fountain of youth in a way, maybe not physically, even for some people, even that, because they're working at getting in shape, but just the way it makes you feel,
Yeah. And just being around other guys, you could be sitting at home or I guess, I play a little golf, but you could be playing golf on a Sunday, but heck, why not go be playing baseball? Just so much more fun. It's just a blast. It's a blast. So I did that, and I was playing on this team, and I was a pitcher, and I wasn't very good. I mean, I was an okay player, and my breaking ball had left me, and I don't throw very hard, so I need to mix it up. And I thought, God, I got to find a camp, someplace that's going to teach me how to throw a better curveball. So I go online, and it's just the beginning of this whole internet stuff, and I found out that there were fantasy camps for older guys, team affiliated, Dodgers and Yankees, et cetera, Red Sox. And then there were tons of instructional camps for kids, but no instructional camp for the adult player. And I thought, there got to be guys like me throughout the country that love baseball, that would love to learn. My coaches growing up were teachers, they weren't baseball players. And it's different now. I mean, there's some really good programs now that have ex-major leaguers and ex-minor leaguers, college players. But back in the day when I was growing up, he was an English teacher or an earth science teacher. He just did the best he could. And so I just came up with this idea how about starting a camp that I would like to go to, that I would go to. So I'd go, hey, that's pretty cool. So I thought maybe I can get some major league coaches and just form a camp. And I didn't know any coaches. And one of my good friends used to play Major League Baseball, and he's pretty well known. And I pitched him the idea, and he said, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I said, can I drop your name in a letter? And he said, yeah, go ahead. And so I did it on my medical stationery so the coaches wouldn't think I'm some crackpot guy. And I sent out about 50 letters to coaches, care of like the Atlanta Braves, Fulton County Stadium. I mean, as generic as can be. And I'll never forget, because I had about a big stack of envelopes, and I put them in opened up the little slot, the mailbox slot, and I dropped them in, and it was too thick, and they all got stuck, and I had to, shimmy the door, and they all went down except one. And I pulled it out, and it said, Leo Mazzoni, care of Atlanta Braves Baseball Club, Fulton County Stadium. And I put it back in the mailbox, and I went, Leo Mazzoni's not going to come to my camp. He's the most famous baseball pitching coach in the major leagues. Like 4 days later, I get a call from him. And he goes, what's this? I got your letter. I don't want to do a fantasy camp. I said, no, it's not a fantasy camp. This is what I want to do. This is my vision. And he goes, I'm in. And I hung up the phone. I went, oh, my God. I got Leo Mazzoni to come to my camp. Now I got to get other coaches. And through another friend that I know, he knew a guy that the late Wendell Kim, who was a coach for Montreal at the time, the Expos. And he came to camp. And I don't know how I got Joe Madden, who was the bench coach for the Angels, to come. And Joe was our camp coordinator for the first 3 or 4 years of the camp. I would love to have him back. He's amazing. He is, talk about a teacher. He's so smart. and a great communicator. I was so lucky to get him, and I've stayed friends with him for now almost 20 years.
Wow, that's
And
really
if the
cool.
camp has grown, it's pretty much a word of mouth thing. I don't do very much advertising. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a marketer. And
Hmm.
guys just find it. They find it on the net and they come and they go, oh my God, this is insane. I just spent 45
Right.
minutes with the hitting coach for the Cleveland Indians, and they bring their buddies next year. And it just has just grown over the years. And we've been doing it since '02. I think this is the 20th, maybe the 22nd camp, because a couple of years we've done
Uh-huh.
2 camps. So it's just one of those things. And I love it. It's a labor of love. I'll get
Right.
rich on this. I love doing it. And what I really love, Josh, is seeing first year guys that have never gone. They have no idea what to expect. And after the first half day, they come up to me and they go, holy crap, this is insane. This is so cool. I wish I had done this, years ago. So it's really rewarding for me. I watch guys that are terrible the first day. I mean, not too good. And by the end of the fourth day, they're hitting the ball. I mean, it's amazing how much
Yeah.
work, because most of us don't work every day for hours, for 6 or 8 hours a day.
Right.
We play a game. We maybe have a team that does a practice once a week and then we play our game. But this is really concentrated stuff, and they take thousands of swings. I mean, they're dragging. Day
That's really
4,
cool. So
if you come, you're gonna be dragging too.
I hope so, man. Like you said, it's not a fantasy camp. I mean, it sounds like a
No, it's
fantasy,
fun.
but let
It's
me
a
ask
lot
you
of fun.
this. Um, can you explain to everybody the difference between a fantasy camp and what you're doing?
Well, I have never done a true fantasy camp, but there are coaches that have done the fantasy camp that have now coached with me at my camp or clinic, and it's very different. Nothing wrong with a fantasy camp. I think it's geared more towards fans of the game, or they still love baseball, but they're not as interested in instruction. It's not instructionally based. Fantasy camp guys play against fellow campers. They might play a game or a doubleheader every day, and the last day of the camp they play a game against the ex-pros. We might play one game in the afternoon. We have 3 or 4 fields if guys want to play in a game. Guys can play games anytime at home. Why would you waste a time playing a game when you can get Alan Trammell or Jim Hickey or any of these guys to teach you
Hmm.
one-on-one to be a better player? So most of the guys opt for more drill work or sim games where we
Hmm.
stop the game and go, hey, you missed your cutoff, man. You got to be here. You got to be, give me 15 feet or 20 feet behind as the trail guy on the cutoff. So you're really teaching guys how to play the game the right way. I'm sure, I don't know the level of play at your leagues, but I see a lot of mistakes. I mean, even major leaguers make mistakes. Look at all the pitchers that you see on the mound. They give up a run. They give up a hit. They're moping on the mound. I've never seen a play at the rubber in my life. There's
Right.
always a place to be on the baseball diamond. So even at the major league level, guys make mistakes. And we sometimes coaches bring videos of bloopers or just errors made at the major league level. So we're human, but you want to play the game as best as you possibly can and do it the right way. So that's what we're about. We're all about instruction. We're not about playing games so much. And I think
Right.
fantasy camps are pretty much geared towards playing games. It's a very different. It appeals to a different mindset for a player. These are guys that want to get better,
Okay.
and anybody can play. I mean, you can go any level. I've got guys that haven't played since Little League, and they're now 40. And then I've got guys that just want to teach their kids, and they're a Little League coach. And then I've got guys that are pretty good and played college baseball and haven't played for a while.
Right.
So there's a wide variety of levels and athletic abilities.
Cool. So, kind of walk people through the process of like, they're obviously going to buy a plane ticket and get out there, and then they arrive to, is it Pirate City? Is that right?
Yeah, Pirate City is in Bradenton, Florida, which is about an hour south of Tampa. So there are 2 airports that service that area. One is Sarasota Bradenton, which is a smaller airport, and it's about 15 or 20 minutes from Pirate City, but they have less flights and they're more expensive. most of the guys fly into Tampa because of there's just many more flights to choose from, and it's cheaper. And once I get guys their flight itineraries, I group them together. And, these guys are coming in at 425, you're coming in at 425. I put them all together so that they can, either rent an Uber or a shuttle or something like that. And the Pirates also have 3 vans to take players back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the beauty about Pirate City is that it's self-contained. The dorms are there and they're really nice. I mean, professional players use those dorms, and you get out of the dorm and you walk 30 feet to the dining hall and then another 60 feet to the training room or clubhouse, and then you go out onto the fields. So there's no wasted time. It's a beautiful complex, and it's perfect for what we do.
That's great. So when we talked about this earlier, this is the impression that you gave me, is that once I get to the facility, everything's pretty much laid out at that point. Like, I don't have to worry about food, lodging.
Right.
Everything's just kind of laid out.
Everything. You get there. Depends if you get there. So we go Thursday through Sunday, and guys get in on Wednesday. And if you get in early enough, usually the clubhouse guy, the clubbies open the clubhouse until 7 p.m. So if guys get into Pirate City before 7 p.m., you can unload your gear in the clubhouse and hang up everything in your locker and have everything ready. So the next morning, our meeting is at pretty early, 7 or 7:30, and can have everybody dressed. Obviously not have cleats because we're going to have our meeting will be inside. And then we'll do, player and staff introductions, and guys talk about what they want to learn, and coaches, do some hitting philosophy and maybe bring a bat and a tee and just talk about basic mechanics just as a starter. And then usually the first day from 9:30 to 12:30, we're doing various hitting stations. So we've got a bunch of cages, and then a live BP, and then a machine, and then a bunting and base running station. So everybody rotates. So we get 3 hours of good work in. And then in the afternoon after lunch, we do defense, individual and team defense, cutoffs, relays, et cetera, et cetera. And then guys that want to play games will play games, and guys that want to just do more work, whatever you want to do, more outfield work or hitting, then that the afternoon is yours. So we can really tailor what you want to do. That's the beauty of the camp. There's, guys say, well, can I switch positions? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I've got guys that have never caught before. And we have our catching guy, we have 2. Don Wakamatsu is the bench coach for the Rangers. And then we have Joe DiPastino, who's the catching coordinator for the Tigers. And Joe's an awesome catching instructor. Awesome. I don't know squat about catching. Never caught ever at any level. I was a pitcher. I played third base. I was a hockey goalie, and I had enough of that, so I was good. I don't want to play. I'm not going to be a catcher. No, thank you. No more balls off my hands or off my nuts or whatever. I'm done with that. But he's a great instructor, and guys they eat him up, and he's got so much positive energy. It's awesome. I've loved watching him teach. And what the beauty of this is? Every one of the coaches, they love to teach baseball, and none of them skate. None of them. They're working their butt off for us, and it's awesome. And they love the fact, it may sound corny, but it's true. They love the fact that we love the game so much, and we want to learn, and we're sponges, and they feed off that. They're hitting ground balls and fly balls until it's dark, and they look at me and they go, Rubes, these guys are animals. I mean, I've hit like 1,500 ground balls to them, and they want more. And that's just the way it is. These guys are animals. So, and it's fun. Yeah. One coach told me, don't tell the guys I'm having more fun than they are. So it's a blast. Everybody want the clubby for the Padres. We used to hold it at the Padres complex in Arizona. He told me these are the only 4 days where everybody wants to be here throughout the whole year. And it's true. Every coaches want to come. Obviously, the players want to come. I want to come. It's awesome. So, and we have video. So we also videotape everybody's swing, and we go over video with one of the hitting coaches. And, guys that want to go over their swings can do that and compare day 1 to day 3. And it's really pretty cool. It's an awesome concept, actually. It's
It really is. I mean,
yeah, I don't give myself very many kudos in life, but that was a pretty good one. I came up with a good idea.
no, it's well deserved too because I mean,
Thank you.
I think that's how we got connected. Because I was on Facebook talking about, man, I'm trying to think about doing a spring training or something for because Oklahoma City's a bit different, like than some of these like the Roy Hobbs stuff going on in Florida or the MSBL stuff in Arizona. I mean, some of them guys in Arizona they're playing year round. I
Right.
mean, we don't even have age divisions in our league here, so it's it's
Wow.
it's really quite small. And kind of one of the challenges is finding games and getting some playing time because we go from beginning of April to probably the end of July, and then we gotta wait until next April. And I'm like,
Why aren't you guys playing in August, September, or October? Isn't it beautiful weather?
they used to do that. I think I actually talked to one of the guys that organized, used to kind of be really involved in that. And from my understanding, I don't know the exact history, but when they left the MSBL for some reason, and then well, you actually can go onto the website and it's pretty outdated. You can see where I'm sorry, the Facebook page, and you can see where they used to have summer, fall, and spring seasons.
Hmm.
And I think it's probably just a matter of somebody just like you that's willing to just say, look, let's get this going because my guess in Oklahoma City, there's plenty of
Oh my God.
people that want to play.
I would think there'd be tons of guys that
Yeah, I
would
really
want
do.
to. Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma City's a big city. I mean, it's not like it's 30,000 people.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I mean, it's like the 24th largest city in
Yeah. I would
the
think there'd
U.S.
be
or
tons
something
of
like
guys that
that.
play
So,
baseball.
but yeah, so I mean, when I was posting around on Facebook about trying to do a spring training or something, that's when you chimed in and said, "Hey, there's this thing that
Yeah.
you do. Of course, it's in December, but it's just more of a like this whole world has just exploded to me. Like probably similar to what you felt like when you're like, what? There are grown men that play baseball.
Hmm.
And that's exactly how I felt back in when I started a year ago. But it wasn't until I'm sorry, 2 years ago. It wasn't until I was invited to play in the MSBL World Series with our team this past October that this whole world opened up to me of like, oh my gosh,
Oh yeah.
that's
There-
crazy.
Yeah. I
And
don't know the
then
numbers. I
now,
think at one point there were like 40,000 MSBL members. I might be
oh
wrong,
my gosh,
but
yeah,
a lot.
and it's worldwide.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
entered. I think his name. I think he pronounces his name Choba from England, and then Olden McGill is in our group from Ireland, and we got Australia, and
I've
they're
had guys at
everywhere.
camp from Australia. I've had them from Germany, England, and France. I didn't even know they had played
I didn't either.
amateur baseball in England and France and Germany. And
Yeah,
these guys are awesome. There's one
I
kid that
feel so
traveled all the way
American
from
saying that.
Australia. That's a long trip, Australia to Florida.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm just kind of in like Candyland here. Like I'm just kind of taking it all in, and then you drop in this. Oh, there's this camp that I do with all these professional coaches, and I'm like, I don't know if I can process it, man. This is like crazy. It's like, did you watch Tiger King,
I did not. I heard about it. I
dude?
did not. I don't think I could watch that.
You have
I
got
don't.
to watch Tiger King,
I don't think so.
but not that it's any comparison of like value, because but I kind of felt the same way about men's baseball in the sense of what? Like when I watch Tiger King, I'm like, there's this whole world of tiger people.
Yeah.
Like I had no clue about. And this guy is from Oklahoma, actually. This the Tiger King is an Oklahoma guy, and but apparently there's this whole world of tiger people that exists, and that's kind of like how I felt about when I learned about men's baseball. I'm like, it's like there's this whole world that's just happening all around me with this game that I gave so much of my life to,
Yeah.
and I have spent 20 years, before I got in, I stopped playing college ball after my freshman year, and then a 20-year hiatus. I was 39 years old when just so happens a dad on one of the teams that my daughter played on said, hey, we're running low on players this week. Can we get a sub? And I'm like, for softball, like men's softball? He's like, no, it's men's baseball. And I'm like, what? What is this you speak of?
It's crazy.
And where
How'd
has
you
this
do in
been?
that first game after not having hit against live pitching for a while? How'd you do?
Say that again.
How did you do at your first games, not having swung a bat for a long time?
I went, dude. Okay, so you talk about kudos here. I went 3 for 5, and
Sweet.
they asked me to join the team after that. So I mean,
Sure.
I jacked. I hit really well, and finished out the season doing really well. But I was like, man, my senior year of high school, I hit 20 bombs, and then I didn't play much in college, so I don't have any home runs under my belt there. But I was like, man, I wonder if I can hit a home run again. And then so last season I ended with 3 home runs,
Sweet.
and
Good.
then I went to the MSBL World Series. And one of the most disappointing elements about that series was how big those fields are.
Oh, yes.
420 dead center.
They're
What?
huge. It's Major League Field.
It was bigger. I've been to a lot of
Fantastic.
major league fields. I haven't seen one 420 dead center.
Yeah, there are, but yeah, they're huge. They're huge.
Yeah, I mean, and
If you're
so,
playing outfield, it's a long throw into the infield on a ball to the wall.
but
Your
I
relay guy's
hit,
got to bust his ass to get out there and get your throw. It's a long way.
and I hit at least 4, and I actually have those posted on our YouTube channel. But I hit at least 4 that would have been gone at most college fields, all these high school fields for sure. I
Right.
mean, so I had a and I think that experience in Arizona is really what sparked reignited this love I have for the game, and then of course the BTOP group started growing. So this is supposed to be about you, John, not about me. I don't know
No,
what
but
I'm
what
doing
you're
here.
doing is so cool. Thanks for doing what you do. You're spreading baseball love. That's what it's about. That's what
Yeah,
it's about. It's about love of the game. And so
yeah,
I know some of these guys that come, like I said, coach their kids. So at least they've got a knowledge base of what to do right, so they can go home and teach their kids how to play the game right. That's a beautiful thing.
yeah.
So I mean,
I agree, and
these coaches are working it's a long season. They don't have to come to this camp. They're not getting rich doing my camp, but they love the game.
right.
So a lot of them think it's almost like a duty for them to
Yeah.
spread their knowledge.
Well, yeah. There's a guy that I used to play ball with that played all the way up into AAA ball. His name's Brian Burgamy, and he recently, I saw him post on Facebook. I think several coaches. I don't know if it had to do with COVID or whatever, but several coaches are losing their jobs and things like that. And he got on there and he really encouraged coaches like him that weren't coaching. I think he was actually coaching for the Cardinals up in. Do they have a team up in New York?
I don't know, but I wouldn't think so. But I don't know.
I don't know,
I don't know if a
but
minor league
I know
affiliate, a Cardinals minor
maybe it
league
wasn't the
affiliate.
Cardinals. But I think apparently he was released from his contract, and but he was online encouraging all these coaches that he knows, like, look, if you're in the situation I'm in, he said, put your focus in amateur ballers and
Oh
high
yeah,
school ballers, and he's like, there's still a lot of work to be done and a lot of room to be able to use these skills to help these people. And so it really just kind of warmed my heart to hear him say that, because I think this is one of my biggest pet peeves with our culture in baseball is that we tell our kids, this is a great game, it's awesome, and we want them to have the same experiences we had when we were in school with it. But if you don't go on to play college ball or professional ball, you're going to hang it up. Why are we telling them that? We don't do that with basketball or tennis or soccer or even softball. But with baseball, you got to hang it up. And so I walk into like one of our local training facilities, and me and my son, I'll throw him around a batting practice. Then he'll turn around. He's 11 years old. He'll turn around and he'll throw me around. And I get looks from all these grown-ups. Like, what in the world is this? And I feel a little bit embarrassed, and it shouldn't be
Just
like
jealous.
that. What'd you say?
They're just jealous.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself.
It's true. They want to be taken
There
serious.
probably is some truth to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's
but
a
we
beautiful
need
game,
like,
man. It's and you can play it at any level. It does, there are tournaments for guys 65 and up. I mean,
yeah,
I'm 65. There are guys in my age that are playing in tournaments now. I mean, what a beautiful thing. Are we going to be able to get hot shots down the line at third and bend over? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably going to get by you. But you know what? Everybody's in the same boat. Body doesn't work the same at 65 as it did at 30. It's just nature.
right. But I think the oldest division in MSBL in Arizona was like 72 or something.
Yeah, I think there was a 70 up or something like that.
Yeah. And there's
Crazy.
that organization in Phoenix called TOTS, like Tucson Old. No, sorry, it's Tucson Old Timers. They play like 100 games a year.
Wow, I'm not familiar with that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool. So, man, I mean, let me make sure I got your. You can't see this, but on the screen I have your name and tell people your website.
Oh, the website is pro-ball.com.
Okay,
And
that's what I
we're
got.
pretty much sold out for the first camp is December 2 through 5 of 2021. But the Pirates just let me know that the very next week, so that would be 9 through 12, is open. So if I can get enough guys to sign up for a camp through December 9th through the 12th, I'll hold it. Because we've already got 70 or 71 signed up for the earlier December camp. And I want to keep it small. I could probably have 100 guys, but I don't want to do that. It's the whole purpose is to get individual instruction from these major league coaches. So
Right.
I'll keep it small. I mean, that's the beauty of it. So
Well, maybe in the future you and I can talk about a way to get this into Oklahoma City.
I'd love it.
I mean, the Dodgers feel.
You know what? I could probably do it in the summer, but not with major league coaches because they're working, but retired or fired ex-major league coaches, and do a weekend camp somewhere. Do a hitting camp. We could do it. I mean, that'd be awesome.
It would be, yeah.
There's guys that are out of baseball that would love to make some extra money.
Yeah.
Coaches don't make a lot of money. Your average major league fan must think that these major league coaches make big bucks. Unless you're a big-time hitting coach or a pitching coach, you're not making big money. You're really not.
Right.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
And a lot of them sign one-year deals, so it's a year-to-year kind of a thing. It's a tough business. And there's so many coaches waiting to take their jobs that front office are like, well, whatever. If you don't want to take this pay, then see ya. There are 100 guys just waiting to take your job. It's tough. It's the romantic side of baseball business. It isn't romantic. It's hardcore. It's tough.
Yeah. So I don't know if do you know Edward Lamar? Oh, he just gave us a shout out. Said hi, Josh and John. He's watching.
Oh, hi, Edward. No, but hi. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I mean, I'll give you my email address, and then you just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. It's NOMAR, like Nomar Garcia Parra, NOMARFAN @PACBELL, PACBELL.net.
Okay.
So give me
And
a
I'll
shout.
make sure I post that in the comments, and I'll put that in the description on the YouTube video too.
Cool.
Sorry. So we have the Oklahoma City Dodgers in the AAA team here.
Yep.
And man, that field is beautiful. So I think you could get a pretty good camp down here.
Oh, I'd love
You
it.
get all these people that,
Seriously, let's work on it.
yeah.
If you get
Let's
the
definitely talk
players,
about it for the
I'll get the
future.
coaches.
Yeah.
They're going to be, if we do it in summer, they'll be, like Jim Presley's a great hitting coach, and he was a hitting coach for the Diamondbacks and the Orioles and one other team. And he comes to the camp. He's great. He loves baseball. He's he's not out of the game. He's out of the game now, but he's an awesome teacher. And it's fun.
Have you had any coaches from the Oklahoma City Dodgers organization come up to your camp and help? No.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember their names. There used to be some pretty big names down here. It escapes me right now. But I think it'd be really cool. But you do this once a year, but there might be a second week. So I just want to make sure people understand that. And like from everything that I read on your Facebook, it sounds like part of the reason it filled up so fast in January was because you guys had some You had to cancel last year, right? Because of COVID.
We didn't cancel. We did it. We had a small camp. We had 40. I think we had 41 last December. But there were a lot of guys from New York and Massachusetts that couldn't get out. If they went to Florida, they'd have to go back home and quarantine for 2 weeks. They couldn't do that for their jobs, so they canceled. So I gave them credit for this year. So that's why they're coming. And I think there were 31 cancellations, which is a lot. I mean, we would have had another 70 guys last year. So that's why it filled up so fast anyway.
Yeah. But I'm willing to bet that for the viewers that are listening to this, that I wouldn't tarry too long if you're wanting to get signed up, because my guess is that this second week is going to fill up.
I hope so. I think it will. And I mean, I know the coaches would love to come, and they make money, so it's good for them. And then they get another 4 days away from the house, away from the wives and kids. So it's good for them too. As far as I know, the wives, it's funny because the coaches are away all year, a long time, from mid-February till the end of September, or even into October if the teams go postseason. And so once they go home, it's all lovey-dovey. But a week later, the wives are like, okay, when are you getting out of the house again? So they're so used to running the show with the kids and running the household that the coaches are doing the wives a favor by going to camp, and the coaches like getting out of the house too. So it's a win-win.
No kid.
Yeah.
Well, man, John, I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. But if you would just hang tight while I wrap this up, and then I'll because I want to say goodbye to you instead of doing the media way and just saying see you, man. Thanks for joining the show.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being here.
You bet.
Okay, let me get myself back on screen here. All right, everybody. Really appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch BTOP Live. We finally had John Rubinow on, which is such a treat because the guy is really doing a lot of amazing things. I just want to remind you guys that if you're probably watching this, you're watching this on Facebook right now. But I want to remind you guys to go ahead and go to our Facebook page, which you see the URL or the handle right there on your screen, and like our page. But we also have an Instagram too, to go and check that out. And it just all baseball training for older people is trying to advance the game of men's baseball. And so I really appreciate what John's doing, and I can't wait to get out to Pirate City and have some fun. So, well, we'll have another guest hopefully this Sunday, but if not, just be hanging tight and we'll get somebody on there. So have a good day.